We're about to take you on a spectacular journey deep into the heart of Africa, where one national park is grounds for fierce battles, not just between predators like lions and their prey. There are oil companies with their own plans for the natural paradise. While many are optimistic, there are still those who fear the park's possible ruin. Here's ABC's Gloria Riviera.
This corner of northern Uganda, where the River Nile cuts through lush rainforest and golden savanna, is known as the Pearl of Africa. A nickname proudly reclaimed by Murchison Falls National Park, even after decades embroiled in an environmental crisis. It's been 2 planes, a long 7-hour car ride. We've crossed 2 continents. It is not an easy place to get to. But on the horizon, a creeping new challenge, one that again threatens the park and its wildlife, clouding its future in uncertainty.
Are you excited to be here?
Very excited.
We've traveled here with Shivani Bala.
I'm just resting up to be excited.
This is the first time we're seeing the Nile.
It's amazing to see the Nile right in front of us.
She's a wildlife expert and National Geographic explorer, born and raised in neighboring Kenya.
Yeah, there they are, coming out of the water.
Yeah.
He's like, we're speaking Hippo now.
Shivani is helping us explore how this delicate ecosystem is returning from the brink.
I feel like you're jumping out of your skin to get out. Car and just get out and look for stuff.
Despite the wait, she isn't disappointed. A special sighting right away.
Endangered?
These are endangered, these giraffes.
A rare Rothschild's giraffe.
There's only about 1,100 in the world. I mean, this is one of the last places you have Rothschild giraffes.
They're just one of the many vulnerable species that call Murchison Falls home, including Shivani's elusive specialty, the African lion.
So we're actually off-roading right now because our guide, George, says this area is known to be a breeding ground for big cats. That's what we're looking for.
It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. I mean, literally, lions can be anywhere in this bush.
After scanning our surroundings, our eyes are peeled. George spots what we're looking for.
There he is, yeah.
2 lions napping in the shade.
He's listening to us.
Yeah.
But much more interested in his companion, and they seek out some privacy in the tall grass.
They can mate every 20-30 minutes when they're in the sort of peak of their mating, and as much as 300 times a week.
So she looks exhausted.
She's passed out.
He's done.
I mean, this is as good as it gets.
This pairing and the cub it may produce points to a bright future here, one that was almost lost forever. During the brutal and violent reign of former President Idi Amin, the park became a lawless refuge for poachers.
Elephants, the hippos, the buffaloes, up to 95% was lost.
95% during that time.
Lost due to poaching.
Due to poaching.
We have snares.
Tom Okello saw it all firsthand. He now manages Murchison Falls National Park for the Ugandan Wildlife Authority.
Wow. Oh my Lord. Look at this. This is stuffed.
These are poaching implements.
This is a container full of poaching equipment.
Once it pushes the neck here, the thing just squeezes it. It's like a hangman. This is what we call a wheel trap. It is like a landmine.
But since Tom took over here, things have started to change.
That 2 years ago, we were getting on one patrol, you can come back with 50.
50 snares.
But now, you can come back with nothing.
That's good.
So that means the anti-poaching efforts is paying off.
Pull it out.
In part with the support of groups like the Uganda Conservation Foundation.
We've managed to get rid of over 8,000 snares in 1 year.
Michael Kagwin works closely with Okello and the UWA to ensure pictures like these filmed by National Geographic for a special about the Nile, heartbreaking images of elephants and lions caught in snares become a thing of the past.
After 30, 40 years of real trouble, I mean, it really can't get much more trouble than the Idi Amin era and then Joseph Kony, is now recovering. And it's one of the most spectacular, heartwarming stories.
And driving through the park today, this troubled past is nearly invisible. But signs of a future threat are hidden in plain sight.
There are some oil wells in this park.
Yeah, there are a lot.
The promise of a fortune locked underground, drawing major international oil companies to the region.
What we're seeing here, this pristine, untouched park, could change dramatically.
We don't know, most maybe, but they are promising that they will do their best really to make sure that the effect is minimized. This is how it looks at the moment.
Most of the construction in the park, so far just for oil exploration, has been temporarily restored.
We are looking at one of the tracks leading to the oil wells.
But you can tell because all of those plants are sort of neatly in rows.
Exactly.
If you can see that behind me, our guide just told us there's a darker patch of grass over there, and that's where they've done some exploratory drilling for oil.
But when development moves ahead as planned, the wells will be impossible to conceal and the environmental impact impossible to predict.
When you first heard that oil exploration would be done in the park, what was your reaction?
I think I was like, oh my God. I thought it was probably it was going to be very bad.
But those fears have faded, replaced by optimism.
You think the two, conservation and oil, can coexist?
We want it to coexist. We want it. In fact, that is our resolve. And we are doing everything possible to make it coexist.
It's a paradise, and a paradise that we have to take very good care of.
A message echoed in the corporate videos of oil giant Tullow.
This is a big project. The expenditure will be the size of the GDP of the country.
Promising careful oversight and the very real potential for the local economy.
Once we go on, we need to ensure that we have left the environment pretty much the way that we saw it in the first place.
But Keigwin believes the oil companies should leave the park not just as they found it, but better off.
The challenge is, can we get those companies and the government to get that to happen? I've not seen evidence of it yet.
A discovery that could be Uganda's economic salvation, or some fear its ecological ruin. Either way, the stakes couldn't be higher.
If you want your grandchildren to have the most incredible opportunity one day to go and see one of the most staggeringly beautiful countries in the world, we must save it.
For Nightline, Gloria Riviera in Murchison Falls National Park.
Destination Wild airs Sunday nights on Nat Geo Wild.